Good Wednesday morning. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We're here. Kaiser's on the couch. I'm ready to get out and get going. It's going to be a beautiful day here in East Tennessee, and I'm hoping you all watching are enjoying some wonderful weather as well. It's amazing to turn on the TV every morning and figure out what has taken place overnight and what has Donald Trump done now. It's always something to look forward to in the mornings, for me anyway, and I'm sure you're all enjoying the goings-on yourselves, and especially with the Democratic Party grappling with the idea of why they lost, and now they want to spend $20 million to figure out why real men don't like the Democratic Party anymore. They should stop, look, and listen to what they had done in the past and how they ran down masculinity for a number of years, starting with 8 years of Obama and right on through to the 4 years under whoever was president, except for the figurehead of Joe Biden. And that brings me to ask the question, is there more than one Joe Biden? Did they have a stand-in? And what in the heck was going on with the auto pen and the like? But $20 million to figure out why we didn't like Kamala Harris and we liked the idiot of Tim Walz as vice president, one heartbeat away from being president of the United States if something should happen to her, like falling down the stairs drunk. Well, this is why you lost the election. This and the fact that you tried to make your DEI programs and deviant behaviors mainstream in a country that was built on God and the right to have freedom here and freedom of choice, which we all had, that did not need to be brought to the surface with pride marches, this, that, and the other thing, and painting different flags of different meanings all over the streets and federal buildings. This is why real men turned their back on what was going to take place under Kamala Harris. There's the long and short of it. And the fact that they're still out there today spreading all kinds of misinformation to you, to your family, and letting your children run free and crazy on social media networks such as TikTok and all of the bad things that go along with it. Criminals rely on the weakness of the minds of these individuals that are using these platforms for their gain and your destruction. And remember that when you hand your kid, your 6-year-old or 4-year-old, an iPad to babysit them. They're being babysitted by bad people, and you need to realize and get that through your heads that it's not a good babysitter for children. Look at what it's produced since the advent of social media becoming your babysitter. Well, let's just take a quick look right here.
I just want to say one thing. Tim Walz is a guy that you'd like to go out and have a beer with.
You're out of your mind.
And I will just tell you from my perspective as a guy from rural America, a farmer in Montana, I thought it was a really, really solid pick. And I don't say that to blow smoke up your ass. I mean, I think it was a really solid pick. When you were part of the ticket, I thought this is an asset that is going to help Kamala Harris win the presidency.
How'd that work out for you?
I don't think she used you. Especially in the end, I don't think she used you. That is my opinion, and that's what I saw. Am I wrong?
You're 100% wrong.
So I don't know if it was what you said, John, if they didn't use it enough, or if I was not messaging it right. And so for whatever reason, I wasn't able to connect with enough of those white middle class or working class folks. I don't know if more of me would have done that.
I don't know if more of me would have done that.
Or if it was the wrong message.
You just don't get it, do you?
Well, there you go, still grappling with, I can't understand why we lost. I can't understand why they didn't feel that Tim Walz was a real man and a man's man. And Kamala Harris was going to be the first woman president. Really? We dodged a huge bullet. That brings us to the other news that is almost constant on a daily news platform today, and that is the migrant crime that is taking place in these United States. While the Democrats continue to fight against Tom Homan and his efforts to stop the migrant crime by deporting the people that are bad in this country that are committing these crimes. And then you have people tell you it's really more of somebody's theory. It's not real. Yes, it is real. And we need to realize that we cannot absorb 20 million plus people into our country with no vetting. We don't know where these people came from. We don't know about their past criminal history. And there are murders almost daily. And now they're trying to say, well, white men do all of this. It's not the migrants. Come on. We have to let Homeland Security and the Border Patrol do their job and round these bad people up and get them out. Does that mean every immigrant that came into this country illegally is a bad person? No, but we also have to realize that there is a great percentage that may be having bad intent on their minds and acting out on it. And they feel emboldened because of the Democratic Party's insistence that they have to stay and they have to be exonerated from any crimes that they do because they will lose that vote. And this is what it's all about. It's politicians on the Democratic side that feel if they brought 20 million people in, that's 20 million votes that they're going to get. And that is the long and short of it. There is no other reasoning behind letting that happen, other than the fact that we had a president that laid on a beach while other people were signing stuff with the auto pen and not telling him about it. And the proof in that pudding is if you did watch the debate that took place between Donald Trump and Joe Biden on that stage where he fell apart, he was absolutely shocked at some of the numbers that Trump was giving in that debate. He looked and said, I didn't know that. He didn't, because other people were working as president of the United States unelected, and no one voted for these people. And the fact that Jill and Hunter Biden could have been running that auto pen, we don't know, but James Comer's looking into it one more time. If anything will come of it, we don't know, or we can hope. But given the past history of Senate investigations into the bad doings of people, has never really been bearing fruit of anyone paying for the price for the crimes committed. And yes, it would be a crime if someone was in there acting as president unbeknownst to the entire population of the United States. Well, how stupid are our politicians? And how stupid are the people that feel that migrant crimes just aren't real? Like like the Como idiot that's been fired off of networks and now has tried to resurrect his career through his own network and comes out with nonsense like this? Let's take a look right here.
These people are sick. They're sick. They're bad people.
I do think that if Congress members did more deal making, it would be better for us, but it would not change how I feel about the parties. They are the problem. They are the root of this binary battle to the bottom. The division is almost exclusively manufactured. We are fighting over culture issues and controversies that are completely made up. We divide this country over a single homicide of somebody, and it's absolutely wrong. What happened to Laken Riley is horrible. It's one too many, any way you want to look at it. But it is also an artificial issue.
Wow.
We have crime issues in this country. Our homicide problem is not from illegal immigrants.
Well, then take a look at this kid.
Tonight we are learning disturbing new details about the death of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray. 2 Venezuelan nationals are charged with murdering the young girl and dumping her body in a North Houston bayou.
Authorities have arrested a suspect in connection to the death of an Edna High School cheerleader. Police say the man is undocumented and now faces capital murder charges.
Rafael Govea Romero is now behind bars in Jackson County, charged with capital murder in the death of 16-year-old Lisbeth Medina. Edna police say Romero is undocumented.
But it is also an artificial issue.
We begin tonight with continuing coverage of the murder of Ruby Garcia. The Grand Rapids woman shot and killed, her body left on 131 on Friday night. Tonight, a suspect, Brandon Ortiz Vite, is charged with her murder. It was also announced he has been in the country illegally.
We have crime issues in this country. Our homicide problem is not from illegal immigrants.
Fox News alert, a jury has found illegal migrant Victor Martinez Hernandez guilty in Rachel Morin's brutal rape and murder. The mother of 5 was killed while on a hiking trail in Maryland in August of 2023. Martinez is from El Salvador and entered the U.S. as a getaway.
A beautiful young nursing student, Laken Riley, just 22 years old, beaten so viciously, her skull is actually disfigured.
And it's absolutely wrong. What happened to Laken Riley is horrible. It's one too many, any way you want to look at it. But it is also an artificial issue.
That is one big pile of shit.
It's almost incredible that they could get away with this stuff, saying these things. And then back just a little while ago, we talked about why did the Democrats lose the election so handily? Now we know. It's people that were in the media driving ideas and ideals that we were not willing to accept. And talking about stupid politicians, they're out now trying to say this Colorado guy, by the way, an illegal immigrant, that decided that he was going to kill all of these Jewish protesters that were in a very peaceful march. And it was a yearly thing out there, not something that just popped up on a university campus driven by paid agitators to come in and do this. This was a guy that tried to buy a weapon to go out and kill people. When he failed at that because he didn't qualify as an illegal immigrant to own a gun in the United States, we have a politician now who remains unnamed because you'll recognize him here in this next segment, comes out and says it's all due to the fact that we have lax gun laws in the United States, and that is the problem. It's not the problem. It's the illegal immigrants. And by the way, where do the ones that have committed crimes with guns, how did they get the weapon in the first place? You have to ask yourself. You know, you watch the news crews out there filming things, and you find out that these guys have automatic weapons. You know, not AK-15s that people go out and hunt with that are single shot. These guys have full automatic attack weapons. Where do they get them from? I challenge you to go to your local gun store as a clean citizen and try to buy a fully automatic weapon. Can't be done. But the criminals, especially the illegal criminals, have a plethora of them. Are they getting them from the cartels? Are they part of a drug scene that's going on that's poisoning this country? How do you get into this country, get through the border, and acquire fully automatic weapons that, in most cases, they didn't bring them in with them? Where are they getting them? Are they breaking into armories to get these things? I would like to know. And if you know, let me know in the comments section below, because I'll let people know where they're getting them. So let's take a look at some stupid politicians. It belongs really in Stupid Town, but we're going to give it to you now. Take a look.
But there's been a lot of violence in our society recently, as we saw in Washington. Now we're seeing in Colorado, but we've seen it across the country. We are still in the midst of a gun violence epidemic. So we need to be acting with due concern for human life. I mean, this is why, of course, we have been fighting for a universal violent criminal background check. We are for a ban on military-style assault weapons in the country. You know, our lax gun laws are a danger to everybody in America, and that's something that we can act with some legislative determination to turn around.
Wait for it.
And when he was interviewed about the attack, he said he wanted them all to die. He had no regrets, and he would go back and do it again. He said that he had previously tried to purchase a firearm, but resorted to the Molotov cocktails when he could not purchase a gun because he was not a legal citizen.
You know, our lax gun laws are a danger to everybody in America.
He said that he had previously tried to purchase a firearm, but resorted to the Molotov cocktails when he could not purchase a gun because he was not a legal citizen.
And here we get to see the skills this young man has. He's already sent his chaser one way, and look how he ducks under by the mountain, round by the front line, keeps that speed up, under the ridge, up onto the mountain and over the top, and just flings himself through the tilted cube. It looks so easy. Not a joke.
So, there you have it in a nutshell. These crimes aren't real. They're made up. Oh, it's because of the gun laws. Oh, no, it's, migrants don't commit that many crimes. It's more our people that are doing it. And then it's almost shameful and sickening that we have people sitting in our Congress that will come out and say things like this and back the Democratic views on rounding up these illegals and vetting them and putting them back where they came from and having them enter this country in a proper fashion, like most of our ancestors did when they came to this country. It was Ellis Island or another entry point that they had to sit in and answer questions and provide the proper paperwork and reasoning for leaving their country of origin. Where is it written that we have laws on the book about immigration and how immigration is supposed to be handled? When did that stop being relevant? I would just love to know that. But it is shameful and sickening. The media has been so complicit in what's going on and emboldening people of bad nature to do bad things and then make an excuse for them. It's incredible. Well, let's take a look at this.
We have a great country that's going to hell, and it's going to hell very fast.
He talked about a supposedly new category of crime called migrant crime. This is basically propaganda. There has always been some crime by immigrants. All of the data suggests that immigrants tend to commit crimes at lower rates than native-born Americans.
You know, we keep on talking about criminals and immigrants being criminals. And I just want people to understand what the facts are and the stats are, is that undocumented immigrants are much less likely to have committed crimes than American citizens.
We divide this country over a single homicide of somebody, and it's absolutely wrong. What happened to Laken Riley is horrible. It's one too many, any way you want to look at it. But it is also an artificial issue.
Supposedly new category of crime called migrant crime. This is basically propaganda.
Illegal immigrants out of Honduras facing charges in the murder of a South Carolina mother. Authorities say the suspects, ranging in age from 13 to 21, pulled up beside the woman's car and shot her. The case is being described as a random robbery attempt. Senior correspondent Steve Harrigan is live in South Carolina with more on what happened here. Steve.
Bill, this town is reeling from the brutality of that attack. A couple of really shocking details. You mentioned the age of the 6 attackers, all here illegally, all from Honduras. And the ages of the youngest 3 involved in this attack, who've all been charged with murder, aged 13, 14, and 15. We spoke to the sheriff just a short time ago. He said they are struck by the brutality of this crime.
Undocumented immigrants are much less likely to have committed crimes than American citizens.
Young lady going to meet some friends in the neighboring county. Someone just follows up behind them, shoots in the car 9 different times, hits the victim 3 times, and then gets out to rob them. Very uncalled for.
That victim, Larisha Thompson, 40 years old, a mother of 2. She also worked 2 jobs, including at Home Depot. When she didn't respond to phone calls, her family went out to search for her. They found her slumped over her Honda over the steering wheel, shot dead. A second feature of this case that really has struck police here is the lack of any remorse by the accused attackers. Instead, they sent each other text messages with things like "mission fail" and "this is only the beginning." This is only the beginning.
Here's what we know.
Why are you doing this to us?
Because you were home.
Talk about your failed media. There it is. Well, that's going to bring us on into Stupid Town, but before we get there, let me just talk to you a little bit about what is needed in this country for the salvation of the country and most of its citizenry that is perplexed and wondering what in the world is going on. Why are these peace efforts that have been put forth in the Middle East not working? And why is the peace efforts that were put forth over in the Ukraine and Russia not working? Why are they continuing to bolster Zelensky's efforts to stay in a war that he did not want to end, because that would be the end of his career as a money-grabbing president of a failed country and a corrupt country. And then I would like someone to explain to me why Lindsey Graham and the likes of Blumenthal took a ride over to the Ukraine, and while they're there, they witnessed the rocketing of munitions into Moscow. That's like opening a wound, pouring salt and lemon juice in it, and I want to know what they were doing there. Who appointed them to negotiate anything in the Ukraine? Were they there to check on their bank accounts of money that was misappropriated all those years that we kept sending every dollar that we could muster up over to Zelensky to pay everyone's retirement funds there, pay for their police departments, fire departments? Why is no one looking into that misappropriation of funds? How would you like to bring that back and put it back in the Treasury? We're talking about a lot of money here, folks. Not only us, but Europe has added money to this, and now Germany is going to give them permission to fire ballistic missiles into the capital of Moscow. How long do you think Putin is going to put up with that? They're playing with fire, and they're playing with World War III over there, and it's not going to be funny when it happens. But the media here tells you very little about who's going and coming over there from our Senate and our House of Representatives, and who in the hell appointed Lindsey Graham and Blumenthal to be our spokesman in the Ukraine. I want to know what they pulled off over there. I want to know, were they carrying money or messages over there from the other side, the Democratic side that is so pro-Ukraine that they have to wear the Ukrainian flag next to the American flag on their lapel. That pisses me off. And it probably aggravates a lot of you as well. But why they're getting away with this stuff, I want to know. I'm an inquiring mind, and you should be too. So that'll bring us walking into Stupid Town one more time. And we have two memes for it to show you today. One is, speaking of people from the Senate that are, or from the House that are running over to foreign countries, the Speaker Emeritus, as she now calls herself, Pelosi, showed up in Japan to talk about Tibetan radio and helping Tibet. Well, she was obviously a little tipsy in her speech there, so we'll show you that. And then the big dog, Slick Willie Clinton, showed up on a Sunday show one more time this past weekend to defend his good friend Joe Biden. And I believe that this will be the cap-off of Stupid Town. But there would be the president of Stupid Town, and Speaker Pelosi would be the speaker of Stupid Town. So let's take a look right here.
Hello. As Speaker Emerita of the United States House of Representatives, it is my privilege to address the 9th World Parliamentary Convention on Tibet.
That's not a good start, but keep going.
And to our friends in the Japanese Parliamentary support groups. We must deepen our ties with the Tibetan Parliament in exile, collaborate across borders, and raise our collective voices.
Don't get all choked up.
From Tibet to Hong Kong, and from the Uyghur region to southern Mongolia. For Beijing to interfere is not only an act of religious persecution, it's an assault on freedom of conscience. If we do not speak out against Chinese human rights violations due to commercial interest, then we lose all moral authority.
I think somebody's had too many martinis.
Joe Biden and the people around him seeing that he had cognitive and physical decline. Did you ever have a moment with him where you thought maybe he was unfit to run for president?
You can bullshit everybody else, but he ain't fooling me.
I thought he was a good president. The only concern I thought he had to deal with was, could anybody do that job until they were 86?
Not a chance in hell.
And we'd had several long talks. I had never seen him and walked away thinking he can't do this anymore. He was always on top of his brief.
You never saw any cognitive decline?
Liar!
So I didn't know anything about any of this, and I haven't read the book. I saw President Biden not very long ago, and I thought he was in good shape. But the book didn't register with me because I never saw him that way.
Why didn't you read the book?
I didn't want to, because he's not president anymore.
Well, isn't that convenient for you?
And I think he did a good job. And I think we are facing challenges today without precedent in our history. Some people are trying to use this as a way to blame him for the fact that Trump was reelected.
This is what a liar looks like. Take a mental picture.
So with Stupid Town out of the way now, and it is obviously a laughable situation when you have Clinton sitting there still bold-faced lying to the entire population of the United States one more time, and Pelosi having one too many cocktails and trying to give a speech of which she knows nothing about. And that was extremely obvious, but this is why they're in the Stupid Town segment today, and there's a whole lot more that are sitting in the power seats of our hallowed halls of Congress on both levels, making stupid decisions every day, and we have to live with it. Until their phone rings enough and they get enough emails to tell them that we are totally displeasured with their performance as the elected officials we sent them there to do the job of and have failed. The left side has failed, and now we have a bunch of rhinos on the right side that are doing the bidding of the failed Democrats. And I personally really don't care if they spend $50 million to figure out why people like myself are fed up with them, and we're fed up with the way that they would like to see this country go. This country is coming back, and it's coming back strong, and we are going to have a defense mechanism that will be second to none with the Golden Dome, and it's already upsetting China because their entire plan was to do exactly that, kill us from space and kill us from within. And we've had an entire Democratic administration that allowed them to build the cells here from within. And now we're going to block their master plan, and now they don't want that to happen. Godspeed with the Golden Dome, and Godspeed with the reclamation and the making America great again. God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in. Come back and see us every day, Monday through Friday, if you can. And on weekends, if we get out with the camera, we'll have special reports on the weekends. So God bless you all. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more commentary and news bits that may amuse in some cases. Bye-bye now. God bless.